The silent approach. The stars around Colony Kepler 442b burned with an unnatural red glow as the Zarathi warfleet descended from hyperspace. Dr. Sarah Okonkwo pressed her face against the observation deck window of the colony's main habitat, watching 12 massive alien vessels take position around their peaceful agricultural world. Each ship was the size of a small city, their dark hulls covered in organic-looking protrusions that pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. Sarah had spent 15 years building this colony from nothing. The rolling green plains below were dotted with farms that fed 36 human worlds. 15,000 colonists called this place home, including her own 2 children, who were now hiding in the underground shelters with the other families. The colony had no military defenses beyond a few outdated patrol drones. They were farmers, scientists, and teachers, not soldiers. Dr. Okonkwo, we're receiving another transmission from the Zarathi fleet, called Communications Officer Peters from across the command center. His voice shook with fear. Same message as before. Complete surrender in 6 hours, or they begin orbital bombardment. Sarah nodded grimly. The Zarathi Empire had been expanding aggressively for the past decade, conquering human colonies on the frontier. They were known for their advanced biotechnology and their complete lack of mercy. Surrendering meant slavery for the adults and genetic experimentation for the children. Fighting meant death for everyone. The colony's defensive coordinator, Major Reynolds, approached with a tablet showing their pitiful military assets. We've got 8 patrol drones, 2 cargo shuttles, and some mining explosives, against 12 Zarathi dreadnoughts. He shook his head. I've sent distress signals to every human military base within 50 light years. The closest fleet is 3 weeks away. Sarah looked at the tactical display showing the alien ships. The Zarathi vessels were already launching smaller craft toward the planet's surface. Scout ships, probably mapping their defenses and locating the civilian shelters. They had 6 hours to live and no way to fight back. That was when the impossible happened. A new contact appeared on the long-range sensors emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the system. The signature was human, but unlike any ship in the colonial database, it was massive, easily the size of the largest Zarathi vessel, but its energy readings were completely unknown. "Ma'am," Peters called out, his voice suddenly filled with hope. "I'm getting a response to our distress beacon. Human military vessel, designation Iron Phoenix. They're requesting immediate tactical briefing." The main communication screen flickered to life, revealing the face of a woman in her 40s wearing a captain's uniform Sarah didn't recognize. The woman had short black hair, intense dark eyes, and 3 parallel scars running down her left cheek. Behind her, Sarah could see a bridge that looked like nothing she had ever seen before. "Colony Kepler 442b, this is Captain Elena Vasquez of the UES Iron Phoenix. We received your distress call during our shakedown cruise. What's your tactical situation?" Sarah stepped forward, hardly daring to believe what she was seeing. "Captain, I'm Dr. Sarah Okonkwo, Colony Administrator. We have 15,000 civilians under threat from 12 Zarathi dreadnoughts. They've given us 6 hours to surrender. Our defenses are minimal." Captain Vasquez nodded, her expression hardening. "Understood. We're moving to intercept. Begin immediate evacuation to your deepest shelters. This is going to get loud." Major Reynolds leaned into the communication pickup. "Captain, with respect, what kind of ship are you commanding? Our sensors shot massive energy signatures, but nothing in our databases matches your vessel." Vasquez smiled grimly. "That's because the Iron Phoenix is the first of her kind, Major. We're a prototype, humanity's answer to the alien threat." She paused, looking directly at Sarah. "We've never been tested in real combat, but we're about to find out what humans can build when their backs are against the wall." The Iron Phoenix moved through space like nothing Sarah had ever seen. Instead of the smooth acceleration of normal ships, it seemed to flicker in and out of existence, covering vast distances in mere moments. The ship's hull was matte black, covered in geometric patterns that shifted and changed as she watched. Strange energy fields danced around the vessel like aurora lights. "How is it moving like that? Reynolds asked, staring at the tactical display. Captain Vasquez heard the question over the open channel. Quantum displacement drive, Major. We don't travel through space. We convince space to move around us. It's purely human engineering, born from our stubbornness to find a better way. On the Iron Phoenix Bridge, Captain Elena Vasquez studied the tactical situation with grim determination. She had spent the last 5 years overseeing the construction of this ship, humanity's first true battleship, designed specifically to fight alien technology on equal terms. The ship represented the combined effort of humanity's greatest scientists, engineers, and military minds. Chief Engineer Marcus Kim approached from the engineering station, his face showing both excitement and concern. "Captain, all systems are showing green, but we're pushing into uncharted territory. The quantum weapons have never been fired at full power. The displacement drive has never been used in combat conditions." Vasquez nodded. "I know, Marcus, but 15,000 people are counting on us to make the impossible work." She turned to her tactical officer, Commander Liu Wei. "What's our assessment of the Zarathi fleet?" Liu studied the holographic display floating above his station. 12 dreadnoughts in standard siege formation. Bio-armor, plasma weapons, and energy shields. Standard Zarathi doctrine based on previous encounters. They're not expecting serious resistance. Lieutenant Jake Morrison at the weapons station looked up from his controls. "Captain, I'm reading massive power fluctuations in the exotic matter containment systems. The quantum lance is drawing more energy than our simulations predicted." "Can we fire it safely?" Vasquez asked. Morrison paused, checking his readings again. "Honestly, Captain, I don't know. This technology is so new that we're learning as we go, but the alternative is letting those people die." Vasquez felt the weight of command settle on her shoulders. The Iron Phoenix was humanity's greatest achievement, built in secret shipyards beyond Neptune, using technologies that pushed the very limits of human understanding. The quantum lance could theoretically punch through any known armor. The displacement drive could move the ship faster than anything aliens had ever encountered. The adaptive hull could reconfigure itself for different combat situations. But it was all theoretical until now. Every system on the ship was experimental. They were flying into battle with weapons that existed only in computer simulations and a crew that had trained on equipment they had never used in real combat. "Captain," called Communications Officer Chen from her station, "the Zarathi fleet is hailing us. Admiral Zethkar wants to speak with you." The main screen shifted to show the alien commander. Admiral Zethkar was typical of his species. Tall, insectoid, with 4 arms and compound eyes that glittered with intelligence and cruelty. His chitinous armor was decorated with the skulls of conquered species. Behind him, Sarah Ku could see the organic bridge of his flagship, walls that pulsed like living tissue. "Human vessel," Zethkar's voice came through the translator with a sound like grinding metal. "You are unknown to our databases. Identify yourself and withdraw, or be destroyed with the colony you seek to defend." Captain Vasquez smiled coldly. "Admiral Zethkar, I presume." "This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the United Earth ship Iron Phoenix. I'm here to inform you that your siege of this colony ends now. Withdraw your forces or face the consequences." The alien admiral's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. "One human ship against the might of the Zarathi Empire? Your species' arrogance continues to amaze me. We have conquered 17 human worlds. We know your capabilities." "You know our old capabilities," Vasquez corrected. "You're about to learn what humans can build when we put our minds to it." Zethkar leaned forward, his compound eyes reflecting the lights of his bridge. "Very well, human. Your ship is impressive, but size means nothing without firepower. Prepare to join the countless others who have fallen before the Zarathi Empire." The communication ended, and the tactical display immediately showed the Zarathi fleet changing formation. 6 dreadnoughts moved to engage the Iron Phoenix directly, while the other 6 maintained position around the colony, ready to begin bombardment if the battle went against them. Battle stations, Vasquez announced throughout the ship. All hands, this is the moment we've trained for. We are humanity's shield and sword. Today, we show the galaxy that humans don't back down from a fight. The Iron Phoenix began its approach toward the Zarathi fleet, its quantum displacement drive creating ripples in space-time itself. The ship's hull shifted from matte black to a mirror-like surface that reflected the stars around them. Weapon ports opened along the vessel's flanks, revealing technology that glowed with ally-contained energy. On the colony below, Dr. Okonkwo watched the approaching battle with a mixture of hope and terror. The human ship was impressive, but it was still one vessel against an entire fleet. The Zarathi had never been defeated in open battle. Their biotechnology was centuries ahead of human science. But as she watched the Iron Phoenix move through space with impossible grace, Sarah felt something she hadn't experienced in days. Hope. The ship moved like it was alive, like it was eager for the fight ahead. Whatever humanity had built out there in the darkness between the stars, it was unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. The first Zarathi ships opened fire, sending streams of superheated plasma toward the Iron Phoenix. The human ship didn't dodge. Instead, it simply wasn't there when the weapons arrived, having shifted several kilometers in the blink of an eye. The Iron Phoenix's own weapons began to charge, and space itself seemed to hold its breath for the battle to come. Fire and steel, the space around Colony Kepler 442b erupted into chaos as the first volley of Zarathi plasma fire missed its target completely. The Iron Phoenix had vanished from where it should have been, reappearing 3 kilometers starboard in a shimmer of quantum energy. Captain Elena Vasquez gripped her command chair as the ship's experimental systems pushed the boundaries of known physics. "Displacement successful, Captain," reported Commander Liu Wei from the tactical station. "The Zarathi targeting computers can't lock onto us when we're phase-shifting between quantum states." Lieutenant Morrison's hands flew over his weapons console as targeting data flowed across his screens. "Captain, I have firing solutions on all 6 lead ships. The quantum lance is charged and ready, but I'm still reading those power fluctuations." "Fire when ready, Lieutenant," Vasquez ordered. "Let's show them what human engineering can do." The Iron Phoenix's main weapon discharged with a sound that shouldn't have existed in the vacuum of space. A beam of pure quantum energy, violet-white and impossibly bright, lanced out toward the nearest Zarathi dreadnought. The alien ship's bioarmor, designed to adapt and regenerate against conventional weapons, simply ceased to exist where the beam touched it. The quantum lance punched through the dreadnought's hull, emerged from the other side, and continued into space before dissipating. The massive alien vessel shuddered, its organic systems trying desperately to seal the perfect circular hole that now ran through its entire length. But quantum energy didn't just destroy matter. It convinced matter that it had never existed in the first place. "Direct hit on the flagship's secondary," Morrison reported, his voice filled with amazement. "Their armor didn't even slow us down." Admiral Zethkar's angry roar came through the communication channels as his damaged ship listed to one side, its biosystems failing to understand what had happened to them. "Impossible! No human weapon can penetrate Zarathi armor." Chief Engineer Marcus Kim's voice crackled through the intercom from the engine room. "Captain, that discharge created some interesting resonance patterns in our quantum matrix. I think I can tune our weapons to be even more effective against their biotechnology." The Zarathi fleet responded with overwhelming firepower. All 6 attacking dreadnoughts opened fire simultaneously, filling space with plasma bolts, biomissiles, and energy beams that could melt through conventional ship armor like butter. The Iron Phoenix seemed to dance between the attacks, its displacement drive allowing it to exist in multiple probable locations at once. But not every shot could be avoided. A biomissile designed to burrow through hull plating struck the Iron Phoenix's starboard section. Instead of penetrating, the organic weapon found itself trying to dig through adaptive metamaterial that instantly hardened into diamond crystal formations. The missile's bioacid, designed to eat through metal, found nothing it could recognize as matter to dissolve. Hull breach on Deck 7, reported Damage Control Chief Petty Officer Santos. But the adaptive armor is already sealing. Whatever that thing was trying to do, our hull is learning to counter it. Vasquez smiled grimly. This was exactly what the Iron Phoenix had been designed for. Human technology that could adapt, learn, and overcome anything the galaxy could throw at them. Marcus, are those weapon modifications ready? Uploading to weapons now, Captain. Try this for size. The Iron Phoenix fired again, but this time the quantum lance had been tuned to resonate with Zarathi biotechnology. The beam struck the second dreadnought and spread through its living hull like an infection, causing the ship's own organic systems to turn against themselves. The alien vessel began to dissolve from the inside out as its bio-armor tried to regenerate faster than the quantum energy could convince it to stop existing. On the colony below, Dr. Sarah Okonkwo watched the battle through the observation center's reinforced windows. The fight was like nothing she had ever imagined. The human ship moved like liquid lightning, appearing and disappearing across the battlefield, while alien weapons fire lit up the darkness of space. Every few seconds, another brilliant flash would mark the Iron Phoenix's quantum weapons firing. Dr. Okonkwo, called Major Reynolds from the tactical display. The Iron Phoenix is actually winning. I've never seen anything like it. They're fighting 6 ships at once and holding their own. Sarah nodded, but she could see the bigger picture on the tactical screen. 6 more Zarathi dreadnoughts remained in orbit around the colony, and Admiral Zethkar was not the type to accept defeat gracefully. As she watched, those reserve ships began moving into bombardment position. Her fears were confirmed when the colony's communication system activated with Zethkar's harsh voice. Humans of the colony, you see your lone ship fights bravely, but observe what happens to those who defy the Zarathi Empire. The 6 reserve dreadnoughts opened fire on the planet's surface. Massive plasma bolts designed to crack continents struck the agricultural zones, turning fertile farmland into seas of molten glass. The orbital bombardment was methodical and merciless, designed to show the Iron Phoenix exactly what would happen if they continued to resist. Captain Vasquez watched the colony being destroyed on her tactical display and felt rage burn in her chest. This was why humanity had built the Iron Phoenix, not for conquest or glory, but to protect the innocent from predators like the Zarathi. Liu, plot an intercept course for the bombardment group. Morrison, I want every weapon system we have ready to fire. Marcus, push the quantum drive to maximum output. Captain, Marcus's voice came from engineering, tinged with concern. Maximum output means we'll be operating beyond all safety parameters. The quantum matrix could destabilize. Then we'll just have to make sure we end this fight quickly, Vasquez replied. All hands, brace for emergency displacement. The Iron Phoenix vanished from the middle of its current battle and reappeared directly above Colony Kepler 442b, between the planet and the ships that were bombarding it. The sudden appearance of the human battleship caused the Zarathi to pause their attack, uncertain how any ship could move so quickly across such a distance. Admiral Zethkar, Vasquez broadcast on all frequencies, you want to see human defiance? Allow me to demonstrate. The Iron Phoenix's hull began to transform. The adaptive metamaterial flowed like liquid metal, reconfiguring the ship's entire structure. Weapon ports multiplied across its surface while the hull stretched and flattened, creating a massive shield between the colony and the alien fleet. In seconds, the ship had transformed from a sleek battleship into a defensive barrier that covered the entire populated area of the planet. But the transformation was more than defensive. As the hull reconfigured, it exposed hundreds of quantum weapon emitters, each one tuned to the resonance frequency that had proven so effective against Zarathi biotechnology. All weapons fire, Vasquez commanded. The Iron Phoenix became a constellation of violet-white stars as every quantum emitter discharged simultaneously. The barrage struck all 6 bombardment ships at once, the quantum energy spreading through their bio-hulls like wildfire. The alien vessels had no time to adapt or defend themselves against weapons that attacked the very concept of their existence. One by one, the Zarathi dreadnoughts simply faded away as their organic hulls forgot how to maintain molecular cohesion. The quantum weapons weren't destroying the ships so much as convincing them that they had never been built in the first place. Admiral Zethkar's flagship, wounded but still functional, retreated to a safer distance. The alien commander's voice came through the communication system, no longer arrogant but filled with something Zarathi rarely experienced: fear. "What manner of weapon is this? How do you make matter cease to exist?" Captain Vasquez's voice was cold as space when she replied. "Human ingenuity, Admiral. We don't just build better weapons. We build different weapons, weapons that don't follow the rules your empire thinks it knows." The remaining Zarathi ships from the first engagement group were regrouping, but their formation was ragged. They had lost half their fleet to a single human vessel, using technology they couldn't understand or counter. For a species that had conquered dozens of worlds through superior firepower, this was an unprecedented experience. Chief Engineer Kim's voice came through the intercom, breathless with excitement and exhaustion. "Captain, the quantum matrix is holding, but we're operating at 110% of theoretical maximum. We can maintain this for maybe another 10 minutes before we risk a cascade failure." "Then we end this in 10 minutes, Vasquez replied. She turned to her tactical officer. "Liu, what's the status of the remaining Zarathi ships?" "5 vessels still combat-capable, Captain. They're maintaining distance and seem to be reassessing their tactics. Admiral Zethkar's flagship appears to be the command vessel." Lieutenant Morrison looked up from his weapons console with a wild grin. "Captain, I've been analyzing the quantum resonance patterns from our attacks. I think I can create a focused pulse that would disable their entire fleet's biosystems without destroying the ships." "Without destroying them?" Vasquez raised an eyebrow. "Yes, ma'am. Instead of convincing their hulls to stop existing, we convince their weapons and propulsion to stop working. It would leave them helpless, but alive." Vasquez considered this. The Zarathi had shown no mercy to human colonies, but humanity could choose to be better than their enemies. "Do it, Lieutenant. Target their weapon and propulsion systems only." The Iron Phoenix began to reconfigure again, its hull flowing back into a more traditional battleship configuration, but this time all the quantum emitters focused into a single massive array at the ship's bow. The energy buildup was visible even from the colony's surface, a growing sphere of violet light that made the stars pale by comparison. Admiral Zethkar seemed to recognize what was happening. "All ships, maximum power to bio-armor. Prepare for—" The Iron Phoenix fired. But instead of a beam or multiple bolts, the quantum weapon released an expanding sphere of energy that washed over the remaining Zarathi fleet like a gentle wave. The alien ships weren't destroyed. Instead, their weapons simply stopped working. Their engines forgot how to generate thrust. Their communication systems decided they had never been programmed to function. In the space of seconds, the mighty Zarathi fleet became nothing more than 5 helpless hulks drifting in space around colony Kepler 4442b. Dr. Sarah Okonkwo stared at the tactical display in amazement. 15 minutes ago, they had been facing certain death or slavery. Now the alien fleet that had terrorized a dozen human worlds was completely helpless, all because of one ship and a crew willing to risk everything to protect strangers. Captain Vasquez's voice came through the colony's communication system, warm with relief and pride. "Colony Kepler 442b, this is Captain Vasquez. The immediate threat has been neutralized. We'll maintain position until human fleet units arrive to take the Zarathi into custody." "Captain," Sarah replied, her voice shaking with emotion, "I don't know how to thank you. You saved 15,000 lives today." "We're all human, Dr. Okonkwo. We protect our own." Vasquez paused. "Besides, the Iron Phoenix and her crew needed to know what we were truly capable of. Today, we found out." As rescue ships began launching from the colony to assist any Zarathi crew members who needed medical attention, Captain Vasquez stood on her bridge and looked out at the stars. The Iron Phoenix had passed its first test, not just as a weapon of war, but as a symbol of what humanity could achieve when they refused to accept defeat. The ship's quantum matrix stabilized, the exotic matter contained, and the crew began the process of documenting everything they had learned about their experimental systems. But most importantly, they had learned that human determination, combined with human ingenuity, could overcome any challenge the galaxy might present. The Iron Phoenix had become more than just a battleship. It had become proof that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology, but their refusal to give up when others were counting on them.